we go into our 10-minute feature presentation, a little bit of a surprise for you, and then I'll announce the winner toward the end of the meeting of our educational nuggets, probably at the end. But our 10-minute nugget, I'll set the time. So about 8:32, we'll stop, and then we'll go into our 3 1-to-1. So you could have a strong end and not a weak end, and meet somebody here 1-to-1, and not have to play chase. And you might not have the phone number. You might not have connection credits on Alignable to be able to connect with somebody. But here we'll automatically connect you to somebody. It might be 3, it might be 2, it might be 1. So let's start with our feature presentation. Let me give you a little bit of background about the speaker today, because it's always great to introduce a speaker when you're talking, a little bit of an introduction. This particular speaker rides a bike when he feels like it. Actually, he did do his first triathlon down in where was it? Near Butterfly World. So I guess that'll be called Coconut Creek or Margate, maybe, or one of those areas. I can't think of what the official city is, but I had to do swimming and biking and running all within one time period, quarter-mile swim. That was the hardest part about it. So that was our speaker. The guy on the bike there, well, of course, that's me because it's hanging in my office right there. So I already gave that away. He likes hogs, only because he saw that at one meeting and he wanted to bring it back to this meeting. And he also enjoyed going to Toastmasters for 7 years in a row, and absorbed their leadership program of 5 different leadership courses on how to become a better public speaker and spread the good word about how everybody can be better public speaking in small business. Help me welcome our speaker today for 10 minutes, Paul Finkelstein. Okay, everybody clap your hands. Yay. Okay. Hi, everybody. It's me, Paul Finkelstein, and now I'm back on the stage. Today, somebody challenged me in one of the forums on Alignable. One of the other alliances, like I joined, some alliances let you join it, and some of them only to their local area. So there's a good chunk. I don't know if it shows the groups that I'm a part of to everybody else to see, but one of the groups is somewhere out west and North America, and somebody raised a question that I should come do a workshop on how to write a book and how to get that book published and how to self-publish that book. I know we have an author here, Rosalind, and I'm not sure, I don't remember if you self-published it or you actually went to it. You shook your head. So you did not go to an official publisher, and the process was fairly easy, or did you have someone coach you along the way?
Yes, the process was fairly difficult, actually, when you don't know, but I took a course.
Right.
I met I met him on the internet. Guy lives in Florida, and my daughter and I took that course. Well, actually, I did, and I pulled on to come in with me. And he actually instructed me how to put my work in categories and everything I needed to do, and how to go through the self-publishing process.
Excellent.
Amazon.
So it was a little daunting when you don't know how to do it. It's always great when someone could show you how to do it.
Yes.
So somebody challenged me to do a workshop, and I said, I'm going to do 10-minute nugget on how to publish a book on Amazon or Kindle. And one particular style book that my wife and I were interested in doing was a book on a how-to book. And if you have an expertise in a certain area, that book could become almost like your sales and marketing arm of your business. And a book is a great transition for any business owner. And the key thing, though, is that to write a book does not have to be hard. All a book is, I'm going to break it down into just 2 items. It's really just 2 items. All it is just a Word document and a JPEG image on the front and the back and the side, but it's just one JPEG image and a Word document. So if you have Microsoft Word, or you have a document that you could save as a document, and you could go into Canva, or you want to hire a professional to make it prettier than this, the key thing is that's all a book is. So if you are a business storyteller like Adam, or if you're a tax professional or George in the finance, you might have to get approval from your compliance department, etc. I know mine does. But the key, and my wife, who's not here today, but you can see her picture, she has 2 books, and maybe she wants. there's two topics that are really important in life. One is Medicare at the later stages of our lives and how confusing that is. But wouldn't it be great if you could get information into the hands of your customers with a book that has a nice readable font, 70 to 100 pages. We're not asking like a huge book or 500 pages or something like that, but a book where you could. And how do you start that book? Well, the person that was our mentor for a book actually wrote a book on how to write a book in 1 week. So we got that book, and it was about this thin, and I mirrored that mentor, and I looked at her book, read her book on how to write a book, and wrote a book about the topic that we wanted to talk about. And at the time, it was about how to make a better headshot to make small business owners stand out so that they could get ahead of their competition, and why a professional headshot makes a difference, which was my old business that I no longer do. So that's why I'm happy to promote people like Adam and photographers in New York, Florida, etc., all across North America. Here's the key tips for writing a book. The first thing that she said for me to do in the book, How to Write a Book, is to take out index cards. Say your book should be 10 chapters. Take 10 index cards, and on each index card, you don't have to worry about the order yet of what the chapters would go on, because that's why the index cards. Just put 10 topics that you think are so important to what your particular expertise is. So say we're writing a book, and Adam was writing a book, and it was 10 different chapters. Maybe one chapter he wrote some things in a business film about marketing, social media, websites, email blasts. So you probably already have 5 index cards or chapters right there. One chapter is on business marketing, one chapter on social media, one chapter on websites, one chapter on email blast, and then combine them all together into one central theme toward the beginning or the end, of course. But you have these 10 business cards. It doesn't have to be 10 chapters. It could be 15 chapters. If you want to write a bigger book, fine. If you want a smaller book, fine. But the person who's going to read your whole book versus marketing, where people don't have attention spans and they want to have not much information, the person who's going to read your long book all the way from cover to cover is going to be the person that's really interested in your topic. But chances are a lot of people are probably not even going to read your book. They're going to just look at this cover, whatever you have on the cover, because they say the cover is 1,000 words, or a picture is 1,000 words, or they don't judge a book by its cover, but so many people do. The back of the book, you could take real live testimonials. You could you put their real name, you put their city they're from, and their exact testimonial right there. So if you have 3, like I have a testimonial from the former mayor of Delray Beach, this guy Woody. And he put, Paul's a very detail-oriented, innovative entrepreneur. His photographic work is excellent, and his new venture into a mobile photography studio, blah, 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 blah. But it's so real to have that. Now, I know certain businesses, it's tough with testimonials, especially the financial industry, but maybe perhaps you have some kind of activity that's outside your sphere, and it's nothing to do with finance. Like for me, it's networking. And I tell people, if you give me a testimonial at the end of this meeting for 10 seconds that just says, hey, what did you think about this meeting? What did you think about how I run a meeting? Because I got comfortable running meetings by going to Toastmasters. They have a role called Toastmaster of the Day. And at first, when you're running a meeting, it feels like a lot of bells and whistles. And then after so much time and practice, you'll be running thousands of meetings yourself. And you're like, what? Crazy? Or a business for that matter. So back to those business cards, or those index cards, the index cards. So you take your index cards and write your topics on those 10, shuffle them around what order you want them to be in, and then start writing. Here's where it gets fun. Every day, write about 25 pages. It's double space lines. You don't have to do single space lines. And every day, 25 pages. In a week, you're going to have a book. Then you could skim through it, check for grammatical errors, use your spell check. Some people get so overthinking about having to hire an editor and edit that darn thing like this perfect melancholy like my wife is, and maybe some other people. I know Rosalind's very detail-minded. I know that it's important to have grammatical everything and sound so perfect. But if someone just looks at your cover and never looks at the words, what does it matter? And I've known expert marketers that are not the best in grammatical errors, and they're making millions of dollars. So, do you want to be a uh, edit and stay in the editing phase for years and years and years, or do you want to have a book and do you want to have clients, etc.? So, weigh those things. Of course, you want it to flow and be readable. I mean, here's the words, and I did type paragraphs and things like that. But if English is not your strong suit in writing versus talking, and don't let that be the fear of finishing your book either. And after I got done with 25 pages a day, within like a week and a half, I just gave the book to a friend, the document, and had them read it and said, "Does it work for you? Do you understand it?" Then I gave it to my wife, and I said, "She's my sounding board," and she read it, and she made some corrections. And if she finds corrections in grammar, then great. So at least if you give it to one or two people, and that's it, then take your book and you upload it to this great place called Kindle and Amazon. They used to have the website called createspace.com, which went to a site on Amazon or Kindle. And but if you Google Kindle, Amazon, how to publish a book, where the login is, you'll find it. And then there's this portal where you actually upload your Word document right to Amazon. And you have the choice of putting it on Barnes and Noble. You have the choice of putting it as a paperback or a hard copy book, or Kindle and only online. And then you can make a separate PDF copy of it that goes onto Kindle as well. And you could use that PDF copy as an ebook. And you could link a domain name to your where you want to host, or it could be Dropbox, so it could be a free place to host it. And now you have an ebook. And then you could go even further, and you could speak and read your own book yourself and put it on YouTube. And someone could be listening to your book as a Bluetooth while they're driving, etc., instead of one of those boring radio stations or music or all those DJs that do commentary, etc. Instead of doing that, they could be listening to some interest that you're trying to get them to pay attention to. But that's how easy it is to write a book. It's just a Word document and a JPEG image and a couple of index cards and 20 pages a day, and there's no reason why you should take 2 hours to write a book. That's my 10-minute nugget on writing your own book. Rosalind might think I'm absolutely out of my mind and crazy, because she probably took more than 1 week to do it. And her book, I have her book here. I have 3 of Rosalind's books here, and I'm going to read them by the ocean. And her book, great title, Oceans of Thoughts. So that's my inspiration. I hope I inspired like one person to just get off their keister, which is a fancy term for derriere, which is a fancy term for bottom, to not wait 2 years to write a book. Matter of fact, don't wait 2 years to write a book and write 3 books in 1 week. I challenge you. Now, if you write a book and I inspired you, then great. If I have on the shelf here, I wonder if it's there. No, I don't see it right away. The book that's called How to Write a Book for Business People. And that's my nugget for you. Now we're going to go into some 3 1-to-1s, and we'll come back and announce our winner for our educational nuggets. So let's see how this goes, and try to get to know the people that you meet rather